Remember those halcyon days when trade wars weren't a thing? Yeah, me neither. It seems like every few years we find ourselves caught in the crossfire of economic skirmishes that leave no one unscathed. The global marketplace, once a symbol of unity and cooperation, has become a battleground where nations flex their economic muscles. It seems like just yesterday that we were all trying to figure out if tariffs were good or bad. The debates raged on in newspapers, on television, and across social media platforms. Experts and laypeople alike weighed in, each with their own take on the potential benefits and pitfalls of imposing tariffs. Turns out, they're mostly just disruptive. Factories halted production, shipping yards stood empty, and storefronts closed their doors. The ripple effects of these economic policies were felt far and wide, affecting not just businesses, but also the everyday lives of people who depended on these industries for their livelihoods, and like a bad sequel no one asked for, they're back. Just when we thought we had seen the last of these economic showdowns, they re-emerge, bringing with them a sense of déjà vu and a whole lot of frustration. It's as if we're stuck in a never-ending loop of trade disputes. In 2024, former President Trump, in a move that surprised absolutely no one, slapped tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel. This decision reignited tensions between the two neighboring countries, casting a shadow over what had been a relatively stable trade relationship. The move was seen by many as a political maneuver, aimed at rallying his base and asserting his stance on trade. Perhaps he was feeling nostalgic for his old Twitter account. After all, his tweets were often a source of controversy and media frenzy. Or maybe he missed the days when his social media posts could send shockwaves through the global economy. Whatever the reason, his actions once again put the spotlight on the volatile nature of international trade. Or maybe he just loves a good economic standoff. The thrill of the challenge, the strategic maneuvering, and the high stakes involved in these trade wars seemed to be right up his alley. It's like a high-stakes game of chess where every move is calculated to gain the upper hand. Whatever the reason, Canada wasn't about to take this lying down. The Canadian government and its people rallied together, determined to stand their ground and protect their economic interests. Protests erupted, and diplomatic channels buzzed with activity as Canada prepared to respond to the tariffs. They don't call it the Great White North for nothing. They're tough up there. The resilience and determination of the Canadian people are legendary, and they were ready to face this new challenge head-on. As the world watched, the stage was set for yet another chapter in the ongoing saga of international trade wars. Canada's response was swift and targeted. Remember those sweet EV rebates Tesla was enjoying? Gone. Poof! Vanished like a Tim Hortons donut on a hockey night. That's $43 million in potential savings down the drain. But Canada wasn't done. They then proceeded to drop the tariff hammer, imposing a 20% levy on all Tesla vehicles entering the country. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. Transport Minister Chrystia Freeland, the mastermind behind this strategic counterattack, argued that Canada would not be bullied. She promised a strong defense of Canadian industries and workers. Now, a 20% price hike might not seem like a big deal if you're, say, a Saudi prince shopping for a new toy. But for the average Canadian looking to go electric, it's a significant deterrent. Suddenly, that shiny new Tesla Model Y just got a whole lot less appealing, and the numbers don't lie. In the first quarter of 2025 alone, Tesla's Canadian sales plummeted by a whopping 35% compared to the previous year. That's a big hit, even for a company used to weathering the occasional storm. The stock market, that fickle beast, reacted predictably. Tesla's stock, already on a bit of a roller coaster ride in 2025, took a nosedive. It plunged 5.6% after Canada's initial retaliatory measures, dipping below its 200-day moving average. And it didn't stop there. As news of the 20% tariff spread, the stock plummeted another 15%. Investors, it seems, were not thrilled about the prospect of a trade war eating into Tesla's profits. So, how did Elon Musk, the ever-vocal CEO of Tesla, react to this whole debacle? The situation was tense, the stakes were high, and everyone was waiting for Musk's next move. Known for his unfiltered opinions and bold statements, Musk was not one to shy away from controversy. The world watched with bated breath, anticipating his response. Well, let's just say he didn't mince words. In typical Musk fashion, he was direct and unapologetic. He addressed the issue head-on, leaving no room for ambiguity. His words were sharp, his tone was resolute, and his message was clear. Musk took to his favorite platform, whatever that may be in 2025, hologram tweets perhaps, to denounce the tariffs as unfair and damaging. He argued that these tariffs were not just a blow to Tesla, but to innovation and progress as a whole. He painted a picture of a future stifled by unnecessary barriers, urging policymakers to reconsider their stance. He even hinted at legal action because what's a good corporate spat without a little bit of litigation? Musk was no stranger to the courtroom, and he made it clear that he was ready to fight this battle on all fronts. His legal team was already exploring options, preparing for what could be a lengthy and complex legal struggle. But behind the scenes, Musk was singing a slightly different tune. While his public persona was all fire and fury, internally, he was more measured. He knew that this was not just a fight against tariffs, but a test of Tesla's resilience and his leadership. He spent long hours strategizing, weighing the risks and benefits of each potential move. In a company-wide meeting, he urged employees and investors to hang on to your stock, assuring them that Tesla would weather this storm. Was it bravado, blind optimism, or perhaps a calculated move to maintain morale and investor confidence? He spoke with conviction, painting a vision of a future where Tesla emerged stronger and more innovative than ever. Or did Elon have a plan up his sleeve? Only time would tell. Musk was known for his unpredictability and his knack for turning challenges into opportunities. As the world speculated, one thing was certain: Elon Musk was not going down without a fight. The next few months would be crucial, and all eyes were on Tesla and its enigmatic leader. While Tesla was busy navigating this trade war turbulence, their Canadian competitors were having a field day. Rivian and Lucid, both vying for a piece of the EV pie, saw their sales surge as Canadians sought alternatives to the now pricier Tesla models. And for domestic manufacturers like Lion Electric, it was a chance to shine on their home turf. They reported a 50% increase in orders, proving that patriotism can be a powerful motivator, especially when it comes with a side of economic self-interest. But amidst all the corporate maneuvering and stock market drama, it's easy to forget about the average Canadian consumer. They're the ones left holding the bag, forced to choose between their wallets and their desire for an electric future. Some, priced out of the Tesla market, might delay their EV purchase altogether. Others might opt for cheaper, less feature-rich models from other brands. Either way, the dream of a fully electric Canadian fleet just got a little bit further out of reach. The Tesla Canada spat wasn't just a localized skirmish. It was a significant event that highlighted the fragility of international trade relations in an increasingly interconnected world. The dispute began over tariffs and quickly escalated into a full-blown trade war, affecting not just the automotive industry, but various sectors across both nations. It sent ripples throughout the global economy. Markets reacted with volatility, and businesses on both sides of the border began to feel the pressure. The uncertainty led to a slowdown in investments and a cautious approach from international traders. The IMF, never one to miss an opportunity to warn about impending doom, cautioned that escalating trade tensions could lead to higher inflation and slower growth worldwide. Their reports indicated that the global supply chain was under threat, and the cost of goods could rise significantly, affecting consumers everywhere. The WTO, equally pessimistic, slashed its 2025 trade growth forecast. They highlighted the potential for long-term damage to international trade agreements and warned that protectionist policies could become more prevalent, further hindering global economic recovery. Even as Canadian investment in U.S. stocks hit a record $21.5 billion in February 2025, it was clear that the market was reacting to short-term opportunities rather than long-term stability. A sign that some investors remained optimistic, hoping to capitalize on the market fluctuations. However, this optimism was tempered by the broader economic context. The overall mood was one of uncertainty. Businesses were hesitant to make long-term commitments, and consumers were wary of potential price hikes. The economic landscape was fraught with tension, and the future seemed unpredictable. The trade war, it seemed, was starting to take its toll. Factories reported reduced output, and shipping companies saw a decline in cargo volumes. The once bustling trade routes were now quieter, a stark reminder of the far-reaching consequences of international disputes. As with most trade wars, the long-term consequences remain to be seen. Will Tesla and Canada find a way to resolve their differences? Will the US reconsider its tariff strategy? Or will this escalate into a full-blown trade war with global ramifications? One thing's for sure, the automotive industry and the world is watching closely. The stakes are high, the players are dug in, and the outcome is far from certain. Buckle up, folks. This ride's just getting started.